All right, folks, welcome back to another edition. As always, we got the big man. How we doing, Big Rob?
Good on yourself there, Tom.
I'm good, my man. I'm good. Did you catch any of the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro Am, Rob?
Yeah, I found myself watching a lot of it, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it. I always love when there's a Monday finish. You get some bonus golf. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't like how Spieth was playing, but it was a good tournament.
It was a good tournament. The weather, super dicey.
Mm-hmm.
That's my, Rob, I have fears, like nightmares of going to places like Pebble and Bandon.
Yeah.
And all these, ridiculous courses and the weather just being horrific.
Dude, yeah, the graphics that they showed, right, to compare the winds on the days, with their just what direction it was going and all that stuff is like crazy, just to see how it changes within a matter of 24 hours or within hours of the day. It was nuts. But yeah, I agree with you. You spend all that money for a Bandon trip or, Pebble Beach trip, and then you're like stuck with a wall of wind. It's like, you can't enjoy that.
No. And I think Bandon at least like refunds you. Pebble, like you pay it, you don't get a refund. If you don't finish, like you don't get a refund.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Pebble looked insane though. The setup is always great. A lot of good golf. Pretty cool to see, JR come back and win for the first time in 4 years. Crazy how he was world number one and kind of just like fell off the face of the earth.
Yep.
A lot of people have the idea that it came from the equipment change.
Yeah, Homer.
Yeah, so it's good to see him back. I like JR. I always thought, he's a nice guy, and he was always well spoken, and his game is fun to watch, especially when he was hot a couple years ago. So
yeah, I felt like, I don't really like slow play, but I didn't feel like he was too slow, but I liked how he took his time with the swing, right? And that pre-shot routine, okay, but like his actual swing itself, how easy it comes back and follows through. It was fun to watch yesterday during the day, watching the end of the round.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say something about his pre-shot routine, and then I was going to say your boy Spieth has the worst pre-shot routine. So
Knox Colt was just knocking on him Saturday. I was dying laughing about how he kept on bringing it up.
Yeah, I mean, I love Spieth, but the guy, and I love to just give him shit because he's your guy. But I mean, the guy's a head case. And to your point, though, like the whole J-Rose like pump action, it does get a little exhausting after a couple holes following him. You're like, okay, man, like, what's the deal here? But to your point, like even on 18, he was hitting shots, that he needed to hit, and I'm sure that goes, a long way with, routine and setup and what have you. But yeah, all in all, great tournament. Couldn't ask.
I liked how they mic'd up Mitchell on was it Sunday? That was good. How that hole played out. I do like how he went after Rogers with his sandbag and handicap. That was all. Yeah. That was good too.
I was just gonna get to that. Yeah, another phenomenal interview. Was surprised it like went on as long as it did. I forgot that it was essentially the whole hole, right?
Right.
Keith Mitchell, awesome dude, super easy to talk to. Again, walking us, through the pre-shot routine, his thoughts, and I thought it was a pretty good back and forth. With who was it, Nance? In terms of the wind and even when his caddy called him off, and then he went 4 yards,
right,
he went out shorter. Like that's the kind of stuff that we want, and it was awesome. Awesome to see.
Yeah, it was awesome that it worked out.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like he even knows where his ball was at because he had that block bunker there, and it's cool to those guys kind of hey Keith, that's a good shot. You're about 8 feet, and he's like, oh, all right, that'll work.
Right.
Yeah. Did you hear who's going to be mic'd up potentially at the Waste Management on 16?
Who?
Rombo.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Listen to Four Plays podcast with Rombo. So they asked him to do it for the 16th at Waste Management.
Okay.
He said he's most likely going to do it, but he's a little hesitant. Only because of the hot mic. So he was asking the foreplay guys, like, do they keep in the ear pod like throughout the shot? And then Rombo's like, see, he's like, I wouldn't be opposed to, hitting my tee shot, taking it out. Then, he's like, just in case I say anything that.
Sure.
So Rombo is kind of watching his own ass there. But yeah, I was super pumped when I heard that. That would be insane.
Can you imagine like the sound coming off the crowd on that as well?
Right. Which brings us into the next topic here, Rob. We have the Waste Management coming up this week. Unbelievable tournament. Some people can't stand it. I think it's unbelievable. I think golf needs more of it, especially after seeing the numbers that I saw on Twitter that we ended up retweeting out. Dude, this event is bananas. Huge. I mean, it brings the Scottsdale community like almost 500 million in revenue. The event itself is the second biggest attended event, I think, behind NASCAR.
Okay.
It's crazy, the numbers. So on average, it's like a 200K attendance throughout the entire tournament. It's like 700K. Like the numbers are preposterous. They make the Super Bowl look, like a little league game.
Yeah.
So obviously it's bringing a new audience to the game of golf, and sure, it could be rowdy, especially on 16, but I think there's definitely something there in terms of potentially bringing that kind of tournament elsewhere, maybe to the players or, somewhere else. But what are your thoughts on the Waste Management?
Well, I mean, I'm pumped, especially because it's elevated in series now. So the field is going to be insane. Like going back to last week or this week that just finished up, like if you won, you got into Phoenix. It wasn't the top 10 qualify. It's just like insane with the Monday qualifiers and everything like that for this weekend coming up. But yeah, I'm pumped. Like 16 is awesome. I could do without like throwing the water bottles. Like was, I get Ryder made the hole in one. That was cool. But like, really, to like hold up play and all that shit. You can cheer, you can spray each other with water or whatever you want to do, but like to actually like trash the hole is kind of dumb in my opinion, to be honest.
I agree.
With you.
I agree with that. I agree. I think there is a fine line. I think if they're, maybe spraying beer all over the place, that's cool. But as soon as you start rifling shit onto the green, that is a little trashy in my opinion. But last year's scene when Ryder jarred that. Right. I mean, that video is awesome. I mean, that place went bananas. It's just such good vibes there. So I'm super pumped for that. Do you like anybody in that field, Rob?
I mean, God, everybody's playing. I mean,
what, 23 of the top 24, I think.
Right. I mean, Thigala, he played there great last year. I kind of like him. Rombo, obviously going to ASU. I don't know, man. Rory's going to be there. I mean, it's insane. I mean, I'm going to cheer for Spieth, but I don't think he has a chance this weekend. But I don't know. I'm excited to see the groupings that they put out, to actually watch it, to enjoy it on top of being a Super Bowl weekend. I think it's going to be great.
Right. I love the Thigala pick, and his odds are actually really, really good. We'll jump right into the Book It with T Waste Management picks. His long shot, Molinari, 200-1. Wise, 85-1. Our boy Thigala, 50-1. Burns, 45-1. And his favorite, Cantlay, 20-1. And you could book it with T. 50-1 are great. I mean, especially coming down to the wire for him last year, those are great odds.
Right.
So super pumped about that. I'm also super pumped about it being February, Rob. You know what that means. Our February newsletter is on the horizon. That's going out Monday, and there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
We said it last week, potentially the schedules, that's looking favorable. Again, we're trying to finalize that this week so that we can get those in the newsletter. I'm hoping that's the case, especially with the two-man basketball tournament dates and courses. So February newsletter is looking spicy, Rob. Also, our new membership offering, the Rendezvous, a little bit more detail into what's going into that. Will be in the newsletter as well, and some other things. So
I mean, it's a nice lead up to the golf show. So
absolutely. And then, as Rob just mentioned, we have the golf show coming up at the end of the month. Make sure you guys come see us. We're right next to the bar. Can't miss us. In other news, Rob, what is up with the I'm probably going to butcher this. Is it the Swilcan Bridge?
That's good. That's good. I mean, I'm not even going to attempt to do that. I'm happy that you did that. I appreciate that.
No problem. It's been all over the web, the interwebs, Twitter. I mean, it's, to me, like, golf Twitter is so ridiculous that like they threw a fit about this thing. I'm sure there was people writing letters and like calling and today you seen the dozer out there, getting
the power of social media, man. Just the power of social media. It's crazy. Like the uproar. I mean, everybody commenting on it. It was golf Twitter was on fire with that this weekend for sure.
On fire. And like I mean, it is what it is. Like, yeah, it looked horrendous. I think my favorite one was somebody put like a picture of a dude in a hot tub with like two chicks. That one was my favorite. They like,
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that one was really good. And then the Star Wars, whatever ship that is, that looks pretty identical to that stone.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really good one. But like, I just sat there all week and I'm like, I can't wait till this is over with. This is so dumb. Like, who gives a shit? Mm-hmm. But then today, LIV Golf said, hey, we got something for you guys to comment about. We're gonna drop our team video. And then that just took fire and people are now doing the same thing with that video that they were with the bridge video. So at least the bridge video is hopefully over and done with. Now we got to look forward to everybody just making fun of, the LIV teams, which the video is super corny, but like as soon as I saw it, I literally said to myself, I go, we're going to see this for the next 3 days.
Dude, the individual videos too, like Bubba breaking down the range goats, like he's got a little bit much going on today, man.
Yeah.
Like call sign, the whatever. I mean, I loved, as soon as I saw the logo, and someone called it on Twitter too, but like if you look at the range goat logo, it looks like someone's ass crack is hanging out.
Right.
And then like you got Bryson's hype up video for his team and like jumping into the camera, playing the air guitar with his driver. It's like,
right.
It was, I mean, like you said, if this is all season for each event, I don't know. I might have to unfollow LIV or just block it for the time being, because that was just a little too much.
It is a bit much. I mean, I don't know who's doing like the marketing over there, but like, there's got to be a better way, man. Like, first of all, I've always thought the whole like team name thing is absolutely horrendous. Like the range goats, the fireballs, like it's almost like they just whipped this thing up in like an hour meeting, and we're like, yeah, that sounds like a great team name. Like, you couldn't figure out like the Spaniards. Like the Spaniards would be cool, or like, something else besides these gimmicky team names. Like, I just don't get how they're operating this over there. And they're obviously getting absolutely beaten on Twitter about these videos and team names and what have you.
Maybe, they think any talk about them is good talk,
Yeah. It almost comes across like they're trying to, have their marketing geared towards like a younger audience with the team names. I don't, maybe that's
1,000% what it is. No, I would fully agree with you on that. They're not going after us. They're going after the kids, like Bubba's kids, they're, the kids that are 10, 12 that love team sports, that are a little bit older, that, love the team aspect, and they kind of want to, go towards that, or the gear and all that crap. So
right. Right. I mean, half the names sound like they're straight out of like Pokemon. So kind of makes sense. But Rob, we're going to jump right into the top three. Are you ready for the top three?
I'm ready for the top three.
All right. So recently, actually yesterday, I put out a tweet. I'm sure you saw it. Top 3 finishing holes in the Chicagoland area, Rob.
Okay.
What are yours?
Oh man, top 3 finishing holes. 3 would be, I think, Orchard Valley, 18 with that dogleg right. Just getting off that long par 3 on that 17, and then having to try to work the ball a little bit. Because I feel that's a little bit of longer par four. That's a good finishing hole. You know what I liked? I know it's not nothing crazy, but I liked 18 on at the preserve at Oak Meadows, because it's just sheer fact of, if you're playing a match downhill and that tight little green that's tucked in there, you got to have a good second shot. Number one, man, I like how you finish on 18 on Seven Bridges. I know everybody's not a fan of that course, but again, one of those where if you can put it out there, have a nice little drive and have a second shot in, I feel like that's a good finishing hole too. I can't really think of anything else that jumps in my mind right now, but what are yours?
I'm going to go 3-hole. I'm going to go Beverly Country Club.
Okay.
18. It's awesome. It's a little dog-leg right back towards the clubhouse, good views. Number 2, I'm going to go with, I like Balmoral.
Okay.
Balmoral's finisher, same thing, going back towards the clubhouse, uphill. It's a long par 4. And then number 1, I would say St. Charles Country Club.
Okay.
It's a par 5. You got to carry some water. It's perfect though. If you have some wind at your back, or if you even just pipe one, you can get home in 2, but it's super risky. Green's pretty smaller. But it's a great risk reward. There's sure. Bunkers, lining the fairway. It's just a super cool hole, and it's adjacent to the clubhouse once again. So that would probably be my top 3 there, Rob.
I would have to go think about it as you're talking. Honorable mention, I like 18 on Bowes Creek, just like how you have that elevated tee up there. Vast, like it's a cool scene to look off that tee and see that par 4, and think you have enough room, but sometimes you can fade it, into the pond. I do like 18 on Bowes.
Yeah, Bowes is great. I would actually say my honorable mention is Heritage Bluffs. Their 18's awesome.
It's super tight. Good call.
Super tight. Yep. Yeah. Most people would probably go, hybrid or even iron, because it's kind of a shorter par 4.
Yeah.
But it's super tight. And then, left is dead. Pretty much right is dead.
In all reality, it can make or break your round. You go out easily on that hole.
Absolutely. And then even the approach in is pretty cool. It's kind of uphill, long's dead. Yeah, that's a super great finisher as well. But there's so many, it's hard to kind of, pick a top 3, but those are kind of what came to mind when I asked you, and that very well could change tomorrow. Right.
Shout out your pizza tweet too. That's pretty good.
So it's crazy, Rob. And again, golf Twitter is bananas. Have we found something potentially with engagement? The last 2 days have been buzzing, and like those are just natural tweets to me. Like that just came naturally. It seems like when it's more natural, things just kind of take off organically, and
sure,
opposed to me thinking about something to tweet for 2 hours. So I think we're going to stick with the food. And then, kind of just general, hey, what's your top 3 par 3s or top 3 par 4s or whatever. So it's gotten a lot of traction. We've gotten a ton of followers in the last 2 days. So I think we're going to keep it going.
Side note, Vince wants to jump on. He wants to open up some golf cards for everybody. Just a heads up.
Some golf cards?
Oh yeah, because he's big into the cards, and that's a big market now. So he said he buys some packs of golf cards to open up if people are interested in collecting.
Ooh, so we could have a live, rip open, or however that may go.
Sure.
Are golf cards big right now?
I saw a tweet yesterday. There was one that had it's got Tiger, Jack Nicklaus, and Arnold Palmer, and it had like all their signatures on it. So that was like a higher end one. This one of the Twitter accounts I was following. I'm not too familiar with all that stuff, but I do follow one that it's kind of cool to see all the top cards out there right now that people are pulling.
Be honest, I don't even think I knew that there was golf cards out there, but nonetheless, we got to have Vince back on and kind of give us a recap on the hot dog reviews from last year, you know, which courses he's excited about this year to get, you know, maybe a hot dog from.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Vince is a character. We'd love to have him back on. Probably our biggest fan, to be honest. So love to have him back on. But until next time, Rob, we'll see you in the fairway.
See you in the fairway, Tom.
See you, buddy.